everybody. Welcome to This Day. It is Saturday and it's June 19th. On our show today, we bring you, and it's back, the Festival of Fine Arts and Pageant of the Masters. So we sit down and we talk with Sharby, who's in charge over there, as well as two people who are Laguna Woods Village residents that participate in the fine arts program over there. Now, let's take we also have the Fly Well Clinic with Hogue. And you can find that in our local airport right here at John Wayne. So we'll tell you all about that. All right, our local weather is looking pretty good today. We are going to be at about a warm of 84 with an overnight 65. Tomorrow, 86, 62. And then Monday, 79, 60. So we are looking at warm temperatures. We start our cool down on Monday. Now, if you are traveling in the state of California, you may want to check out these numbers. We are looking at the beaches 74, 63, Santa Barbara 70, 58, San Diego 75, 64, the Tahoe area as well as Big Bear and Mammoth all in the 80s with overnights in the high 40s and 50. Palm Springs is a very hot 115 with an overnight of 80. Our sunrise this morning was at 5:41 and our sunset will be at 8:04. Thank you, Lori, for sending in this beautiful newly bloomed cactus. We appreciate you sending that in. And if you have a photo that you would like to share with our community, please email it to lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. All right, when we come back, we've got the Festival of Fine Arts and the Pageant of the Masters, so stay tuned. Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Sherry Cohen, Brian Giberson, and Sharby Higuchi, who are all here on behalf of the Festival of Arts and the Pageant of the Masters. Well, thank you all for joining me today. I appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
We are thrilled to be here.
Yeah, you know, it's been a long, as Brian put it, decade, it seems like, for the last year and a half. We've been hunkered down, we've been slowly getting back into things, and now, of course, here we're opening up, and we've got this wonderful program to look forward to. So with that said, Sharby, tell me a little bit about the Festival of Arts exhibit and the Pageant of the Masters.
Well, first of all, exactly what you just said. We are thrilled to finally be opening our doors this summer after a year-long shutdown, and we can't wait to really welcome everybody out back to have an incredibly vibrant art experience. So the Festival Arts Fine Arts Show has been around for nearly 90 years, if you can believe it or not, and it's been a huge attraction over the years, and really recognized as one of the top art shows in California. And I'll tell you why. It's because of our artists. We have roughly this year about 120 artists who's going to be showcasing their work. And it is a fine juried art show. And so in order to get into our show, you really have to be the best of Orange County. And those, we have two artists sitting right next to us that are just that. And it's really an opportunity to go look at the artwork as well as purchase artwork. There's some really wonderful artwork there available for purchase from our artists. You get to talk to the artists, maybe go on some art tours. The festival also has some music. We have a junior art exhibit. And I always enjoy those art demonstrations by our artists because you get to talk to the artists, learn a lot about their work, and, just experience it. And after a year of shutdown, aren't we happy to be really reconnecting, not only with the arts, but also with one another again? And where else better to do that in beautiful Laguna Beach at the Festival of Arts?
Yeah, that's, and I've been to both events many times, and Brian and Sherry, it's just amazing that we've had to wait this long, but on the good side, has it given you a lot of opportunity to do some work?
Well, it's kind of interesting. The first couple of months where everyone was in terror, it was really hard to work. But once things calmed down a little, we understood how it was transmitted. We stayed very close to home. We had more time to actually do more creative and more unusual aspects of our art. Mm-hmm. So working a little slower without all the stress, we actually have made some fabulous pieces that we'll be showing this summer.
And the last few months isn't so different from a normal artist's life anyway. It tends to be fairly solitary. You spend a lot of time in the studio making things. So this was a great time to focus in and really produce a lot of interesting, new work.
Right. Now tell me a little bit about your work. Now, of course, you are both Laguna Woods Village residents. You have
Indeed.
been on our program in the past, either for the Pageant of the Masters or for the Festival of Arts. So give me a little background.
Well, I do sculptural jewelry, large, bold. I use very non-traditional materials, and my goal is to make things for self-confident women, to make things that present you to the world, that go, here I am, deal with it. And so everything I make is one of a kind. It's really very non-traditional, and I teach metalsmithing in Irvine, and what I try and do is I try and encourage a connection, not only to my art, but to the person who's buying it, to themselves, to their presenting their power to the world, to not being shy, to not hiding, but to be out there.
Her work is just stunning. I'm just going to chime in there real quick.
Oh, I think it's great. So like the piece that you're wearing, Sherry, is that kind of like what you're talking about?
It's one of my smaller pieces, yes.
Oh, that's smaller.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Well,
I often will do pieces that are quite large.
If you're wearing a piece of Sherry's artwork and when you walk into the room, let me just tell you, you are noticed. They are beautiful and stunning. And as she says, it's for the confident woman. So
well, thank you. Thank you.
Right. So when you have a woman that comes up to, I mean, either at the Fine Arts Festival, so would a woman be drawn to a particular type of piece and then you kind of know that that's for her?
Well, it's a very interesting question because it is a gift that I have. I'll oftentimes let people pick something they like. We'll try it on. And I know flat out it isn't going to look good on them. And so I'll try a couple of things that they've chosen. And then I say to them, will you let me choose something? And then just to play. And then I'll put a piece on it and it's exactly the right piece and it's the one they go home with.
Wow, that's an intuition.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And Brian, what about you?
My art's a mixed media art using found objects. So usually wood-based. I love the way wood splits apart and the gnarled quality that wood has, aged wood. My whole art started, I was doing large scale abstract, and I have a whole history of doing lots of different art forms. And my neighbor was pulling out his back fence. And I fell in love with this old gate that was gnarled and weather beaten. So I hung it on my wall of my studio as inspiration, trying to bring elements of that into my paintings. And then finally I thought, why don't I just skip the canvas altogether, go directly to the wood? And so I started breaking it apart, making these long, narrow objects I call totems. They're usually somewhat figurative. There's almost usually a head-like section. And I use a lot of unusual materials, like I'll put in musical and old rusty hinges, just anything I find that captures my imagination.
I love it. I mean, Charlie, isn't this is exactly the kind of thing that you're looking for, is unique, never seen before kind of stuff, right?
Yes, and what also sets our art show apart from other art shows, our artists can only show original works of art. So there's no prints, there's no duplication, there's nothing like that. It's all original fine art. And yes, there's every medium you can possibly imagine at the Festival of Arts. We have the jewelers and the mixed media, as you just heard about, but there's also traditional painting, oil and watercolor, and we have sculpture, you name it. As far as a medium goes, it's there at the Festival of Arts. And just as diverse as the mediums are the styles and our artists. And I am going to tell everyone again, please speak to our artists. They're intriguing. They're happy to tell you about their process and how they built this art. It's really just fascinating to talk to the artists and also their background stories. And I also find when I'm walking around the art show, just to share you something, sometimes something you just gravitate towards it. And so you just want to ask the artist all about it. And most likely, I find myself buying it, to tell you the truth. So there you go. But come down to the Fest Arts in Laguna Beach. The art show will be open from July 5th through September 3rd. Our hours are a little different this year. During the weekdays, we're opening at 4 p.m., so a little bit later. But on the weekends, on Saturday and Sunday, make an early morning of it. Come down at 10 a.m. And we have all type of music programs and other activities that as a patron may participate in. So lots of fun.
Now, the Festival of Arts Fine Arts Show, is that free to the public?
Excuse me, it is not free to the public. There is a fee. It's a very reasonable fee. It's only $10 during the week and $15 on weekends. But that's the whole day that you can experience the Festival Arts Fine Arts Show. For some people, there are some conditions. There's for students, there's a lesser fee, and Laguna Beach residents, if you are Laguna Beach residents, you do get in free. That's one of the things we do. And also there's discounts for military as well. So it's very minimal. And if you happen to be going to the Pageant of the Masters, which is our sister show that runs in the evening, your Pageant of the Masters tickets get you into the festival all summer long. So that's like a season pass. So not only you get to see the Pageant of the Masters Living Picture show, but you can come back to the Festival Arts all summer long. So that is like very, very valuable thing to purchase.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Pageant of the Masters because, it's a very special, unique program. What is your theme this year?
Our theme this year, wonderful theme this year, is Made in America, and it's trailblazing artists and their stories. So we are just thrilled to be presenting the show. And we had started the show back in 2020. And before everything got shut down and stopped. So they had started on the show, and we decided to move forward with the show in 2021 because it was such a wonderful, inspirational show, and I think it's apropos right now since it is about Made in America, and it really recognizes our liberties and our freedoms as American, and these stories are in our history. It's all told through the artist's eyes, an American artist mostly. So it's a wonderful theme. We're recreating famous works of art by, for example, Edward Hopper, Mary Cassatt. The list goes on and on. I don't want to throw too many out there. I will, however, say we're always asked about Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper. It is our traditional finale, and it will be in the show this year. So don't worry, folks. It's going to be in the show, and our director has found a very interesting way to spin that into the theme Made in America. So it's great. And it is hard to explain what the pageant is. So I'm going to try. So anyone jump in and help me out here. But basically what we do is we recreate famous works of art with real people. And we dress them up in costume and makeup and put them on sets and then on stage. They hold pose for roughly 90 seconds. And they look just like the original piece of work that we're trying to recreate. Sounds kind of bizarre and weird, but it is the most fascinating and awe-inspiring thing you've ever seen. But it's a show, it's a production, and it's at night. So not only are you looking at the living pictures, but it's accompanied by beautiful orchestra music and a narrator who tells a story about each piece. So a lot of times what people don't realize about the Festival Arts and Pageant of Masters is we're a nonprofit, and our mission is to support the arts, like our artists, and art education. And so we're tricking you when you come and see the pageant because we're telling you a little bit about the artists and educating you about art. So I always like to say it's an entertaining art history lesson. But
it's true that it is, and it's great. And I've been a couple of times. In fact, we even went behind the scenes. I think it was probably about 2 years now, and it was really fun. We got to see everybody in action. So, Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much to all of you. Sherry and Brian, good luck to you. Sounds
thank you
awesome.
kindly.
I wish you all the best presentation ever. And Sharby, good luck to you this season.
Thank you. Hope to see you down at the festival and pageant.
All right. And we'll be right back after this. Welcome back, where we hope that you enjoyed the Festival of Arts Pageant of the Masters segment. And the fine folks over there wanted to give away 2 free tickets for you. So all I ask is that you email us the year that the Pageant of the Masters started. And if you would email us to Laguna Woods Village TV at gmail.com, the first person to get the correct year will receive 2 free tickets, and we will let you know who that is next week. So send those emails as soon as you can with the correct year. All right, stick around. When we come back, we will have the Fly Well Clinic by Hogue. Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Marcy Brown, who is here on behalf of Hogue. Well, Marcy, nice to see you again. How is it going?
Nice to see you, Lisa. It's going great. Thank you so much.
Good, good. Now, I mentioned to you off camera that the reason why we're having this conversation is because I was recently in the John Wayne Airport, and I saw that there is a clinic. Now, it's not just at the beginning, but you've got, I don't know, maybe you have multiple locations, but in the terminal that I was in, you had 2 locations with Hogue. And I thought, I needed to know more. So first of all, tell me why that you guys have a clinic in the airport.
Well, interestingly enough, it was about 2 years ago when the airport authority reached out to Hogue asking if we would be interested in launching an innovative health clinic with them at the airport. Looking across the nation, even worldwide, it's very trend setting. As a matter of fact, in Chicago at O'Hare, in San Francisco, in Portland, in Las Vegas, they had health clinics before, or urgent cares, but nothing like we've co-created with John Wayne Airport. So the conversation started really 2 years ago and culminated in what you saw today.
Yeah, see, that's interesting, because I actually thought it was kind of a culmination of what has happened here to us in the last year and a half, that maybe it had to do with the vaccines or being tested and things like that. But you're saying it happened even before.
That's right. That's right. We talked about concept back with John Wayne Airport almost 2 years ago. And when COVID hit, we had to hit the pause button, if you will, on those activities. As you can imagine, the airport basically came to a standstill. And all of our efforts, as you can imagine, began with fighting the COVID pandemic and helping to serve our community and navigate through that. So we hit the pause button, but the moment we saw the opportunity to get back at it and continue the planning efforts, we did just that.
So let's talk about what the concept was originally, and then we'll talk about how it changed for COVID.
Well, originally we thought about a place where travelers and actually airport employees, because pre-pandemic, the airport employs about 8,000 workers between the airplane employees, the flight attendants, the pilots, the staff that are working in the restaurants at the airport, and all the baggage handlers. So we were thinking about really creating a health and wellness clinic that would not only serve the workers, but also the passengers and the travelers. So basically an urgent care, if you will, that if they forgot their medications or were feeling a bit under the weather or maybe a back strain or just not feeling well, they could step off the plane and come into the clinic and we would have a provider see them. Or if you were working at the airport and needed a quick visit to the clinic, it would be very convenient for employees working there to do just that.
What a great idea, especially the one that you mentioned about forgetting your medication, because many times that has happened. I'm sure
Right.
so many. And that's really great that you're able to help them with something like that. So how many facilities are there? I saw just the 2. Are they in other terminals as well?
No, we are actually strategically located in Terminal B. And the evolution of the clinic, once the pandemic, we were able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. We got back to the drawing board and connected with the airport and created a little bit of a different vision and a nuanced vision of what we could achieve with the clinic at the airport. So we began getting our heads around the launch. And when we originally launched the clinic, it was sort of a pop-up little health clinic, if you will, that talked about the services that we offer at Hogue. In addition to that, we began just educating the flying public about what it meant to fly well and fly safely and getting back to feeling confident about traveling across the nation with some confidence that you weren't going to spread the virus or protect yourself and your loved ones from the virus when you were landing. So there are 2 locations at the airport, one as the airport staff like to refer to on the air side and one on the land side. So the land side clinic is a rapid COVID testing clinic, which you do not need a boarding pass. It's pre-security, Terminal B, right there at the TSA checkpoint. And if you are needing a COVID-19 rapid test in order to fly, or you're just wanting that extra sense of confidence, we perform that test right there at the COVID rapid testing clinic.
Wow.
And then it takes about 15 to 20 minutes to get your results from that test. And then on the air side, which I'm sure is what you saw, is the Fly Well Clinic. And that is a full service urgent care. And in addition to that, so we do offer for those travelers who forgot their medications, we offer that service. We offer, telehealth services. We offer virtual reality journeys for those travelers who are anxious about flying. You can put on the headset and choose your journey, and it's actually a stress reliever. We have aromatherapy in the clinic, a true full service Fly Well clinic. And also what we started launching about 2 to 3 weeks ago now is COVID vaccines. So for those travelers who are wanting a vaccine, we do offer vaccination services at the airport.
Wow, that is so cool. I mean, I love the fact that you help people who may have anxiety about flying. And of course, I was lucky enough to try out those goggles.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. As a
Great.
matter of fact, we had one of your doctors, your brain surgeon, visiting with us. Yes, and we tried out those goggles, and they are amazing.
Oh, my word. That is fantastic.
Love it. So I love that thought that you can help people, because now one thing I do have a question on in terms of the prescriptions. How are you able to help people with their prescriptions? Because I would imagine you have to go to a pharmacy. So how do you handle that?
We do have on hand, in addition to the basic medications on hand, we do have the ability to refill prescriptions. If you have that prescription or in need of that refill, we do have the ability through our other locations to fill those prescriptions.
Okay, and so that would be something that you would be able to do like on an immediate basis?
For those basic medications, yes, indeed.
Okay, all right. So I would imagine that you may not have all of them, but you would have maybe some of the most popular.
That's exactly right, Lisa.
Okay, great. Now, where do you think this is going to go? I mean, is this something that you guys are looking at worldwide?
No, we're committed to just handling our local community and our local flying and traveling community. And but this is our pilot phase, so who knows where this will take us. There is interest from airports across the nation. They're reaching out, asking, how did you do this? What was the vision, and what was your vision, and how are you achieving what you thought you would achieve? And I have to tell you, I traveled over the holiday weekend myself. And I was thrilled to see that not only was there a gentleman receiving his COVID vaccine right there at the Flywell Clinic, pre-security, I have to mention, there was someone getting a rapid test as I was checking through myself. And then there was a flight attendant who had just gotten off of a flight and went right over to the Flywell Clinic and said, you know, I'm diabetic and I'm not feeling too well. Can I sit down with the provider and get checked out myself? And I thought, wow, what we thought was going to happen is indeed what's happening with the service for the community. So just thrilled to see that.
I love that. That's great. Now, one last thing before I let you go. In regards to insurance and services, does insurance cover the things that you provide?
Yes, they sure do. When it comes to the vaccine, of course, we're not charging for the vaccine. The rapid COVID testing, we do bill insurance, but we're also charging $139 cash for the rapid if the folks don't have insurance and they don't want to run it through their insurance. But the other services are billed just like any other urgent care services out in the community at our other 14 sites.
Just amazing. I am so glad that I saw it and so glad that I could connect with you, because I just, you know, you guys are always quite innovative. And the one facility, of course, that comes to mind is the one out in Foothill, where it's really different, and I just love it. And so obviously you guys are definitely on the cutting edge.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa. We like to continue to innovate and make sure that we serve the needs of the community. And so the Foothill Ranch project was indeed a very special project for us and very well received by the community. And we're just thrilled.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the information. It was nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well, Lisa. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
All right. And we'll be right back after this.
All great healthcare organizations care, but the best dare to reach higher. At Hoag, we lead with life-saving clinical trials and advanced therapies. Our world-renowned specialists innovate with state-of-the-art technologies like virtual reality and robotics. Hoag is the #1 hospital in Orange County 4 years in a row. Now, more than ever, your healthcare choices matter. Choose Hoag.
Our movie for today is very fun and kind of, you know, out of this world, is Mad Max. It's the original Mad Max. And, you know, while it seems like a far-fetched idea, a world without water and supplies could happen someday, hopefully not in my lifetime. But nonetheless, you can watch that today at 2 p.m. with subtitles, 6 p.m. without subtitles, and that is brought to you by Memorial Care Saddleback Medical Center. All right, let's take a look at our weather one last time. As I mentioned, it is still warm, but not as hot as it was earlier in the week. Thank goodness. We are looking at highs today, 84, 65, tomorrow 86, 62, and then Monday a little cooler, 79, 60. And if you're traveling in the state of California, take a look at these nice numbers. Beaches, Santa Barbara and San Diego all ranging in the 70s with overnights in the 50s through the 60s, or 58 through the 60s. And then Tahoe, Big Bear and Mammoth all in the 80s. And then Palm Springs 115. So pretty warm out there at the desert. Have a great day in the village. We'll see you again, not tomorrow, Sunday, but we'll see you again on Monday. Have a great rest of your weekend. And of course, you can always rewatch our program Monday through Saturday, 12:30 and 5. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.